What's up, guys? Now, maybe you have heard that the state of Florida in the United States is going to be opening up live sporting events. Now, their stay-at-home order prevented this initially, but then it got reversed on April 9th by Governor Ron DeSantis' office, according to their additions of essential services. This includes, quote, employees at a professional sports and media production with a national audience, including any athletes, entertainers, productions team, executive team, media team, and any other necessary to facilitate, including services supporting such production, unquote. So essentially, they might be branding sporting events as essential businesses, which across America right now, with all the stay-at-home orders, are the businesses that can still be run. The first to jump onto this was the WWE, which is having some of their events over there in Florida, and now this opens up the doors to the UFC. In theory, but that it is only if the old Mickey Mouse doesn't get in the way. Even though Florida is opening the doors, it doesn't mean the UFC can just walk right through when they have the higher ups telling them not to, right? It doesn't matter what is opening up the doors for the UFC. It doesn't matter really what is going to give them an opportunity to put on an event, because the UFC's provider is ESPN and Disney owns ESPN. If they say not to do it, it's for sure not going to happen. Right? And allegedly, that was the reason why UFC 249 was postponed. Dana had everything set, everything ready to go. He had the venue, he had the place in California on an Indian reserve. The governor of California expresses concerns to the higher-ups of Disney and ESPN, and they called Dana and told him, hey, you gotta stop this. So, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the kind of opportunity they are given as long as ESPN and Disney is not on board. They're not on board, it's not going to happen. Now, perhaps they could change their mind because Florida is essentially opening up sporting events with no audiences. The problem with California was the state of California didn't have that. The state of California closed all that down. It was just the Indian reservation that is able to do what they want pretty much. The governor of Florida is okay with it. Now, will that impact ESPN's and Disney's decision on putting on cards and letting Dana White go on with it? There's a bit of hope for people that want to see these cards happen that this can influence the decision and possibly just leave it into Dana White's hands. And if it's on Dana White's hands, he'll put on as many cards as he possibly can. And that means Tony Ferguson possibly fighting. But here's the thing. Tony is not going to be fighting. I guarantee they're not going to have Tony fight unless he's fighting Justin Gaethje for the interim belt. And Tony really wants to get paid again. So possibly they can have that fight back on. But if it's going to be in the state of Florida, even if there is no audience, it's still going to have an effect if they have Jorge Masvidal fight as the main event, possibly against Kamaru Usman. Both the fighters in the main event reside in Florida. So the main event is going to be secured. They don't have to go by plane anywhere. They're in the home state. They just got to drive to the venue. It's easier. It's a better strategy to secure the main event. And whatever happens with the rest of the card, Dana White won't have to stress too much about putting things together again. But if they want to have Tony Ferguson back on, maybe he wants to keep fighting. He says he's going to be making weight on Friday, so that's going to impact him as well. If he goes and makes that weight cut, which is weird, very weird, he's going to be cutting to 155 for essentially no reason other than self-disciplinary purposes. He goes through with it. I don't see Tony Ferguson fighting for the next few months because that's going to take a toll on his body. So possibly we're going to see Tony fight Khabib later this year. Khabib wants August. And if this is going to happen, by some mere slight chance it happens, Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal is the fight that I am expecting to happen in Florida. My opinion is, I don't see it happening. I hope I'm wrong just to see some fights, but I don't see the higher-ups giving the okay to Dana White to do it after they just poo-pooed UFC 249 like that. You know, it was a little bit more than a week away. It was all set, all ready to go, and shut down because of California governor's concerns. So I really want to just get this news out of there because a lot of people seem to think that this automatically puts the UFC online to put together a card, and it just does not. It's not even the problem. There are other venues, there are other places that Dana White could put fights. It doesn't matter if Florida opens up really, unless the governor's decision to do all of this, because he has so much power over the state, obviously, they influence the decision of Disney and ESPN. That's it. That's the only thing that's different. And I'm not going to lie. Nothing against Florida, people living in Florida, but a no audience fight card in Florida is probably for the better. It's probably better for everybody involved. So for my next video, I'm working on a few things now. Right now, there's 3 videos in the works, and I'm hopefully getting one up by tomorrow. I want to get the other 2 uploaded later down this week. They are all pretty unique in their own ways, especially I think the second one that might be up. That one's a completely new idea that nobody has done. Be on the lookout for all that stuff. There's a bunch of things coming out, and I'll see you guys then. I cannot wait.